Welcome back to On Education and welcome to the best. Every week, Mike and I take you through a list of our top things, from books to games, from people to ideas.
We've all been there. You get fancy new iPads in your class and you're like, what now? So this week we'll run down some of our top picks to boost your creativity in the class. This week, the must-have creative apps for your iPad. So let's get into it. So we got a list. We got 7. Some of them people haven't heard of probably, in particular the last one. I love all of these apps. I think you love all of these apps. These are pretty sweet. This is a great list. The first one on our list, the Adobe Spark App. So this is actually like a series of apps, the Spark Video, Spark Posts. And there's so much potential here. Like, I can't get in, if you wanted to make like almost like Instagram style story videos, but with your kids, this is great for that. Just making little videos where kids are talking or where you're talking and introducing things. You can the opportunities for all of these Spark apps are pretty endless. So I think that these would be must-have applications on a new iPad for sure.
And I think they're free. I'm almost positive that they're now free. So just make sure you check your agreements too. I don't know if they're 13 plus or if they're under 13. So make sure you check those things with your school district as far as using those. They are phenomenal.
Totally.
I 100% agree with you. Talking about phenomenal, the one that I was going to talk about was this app called Procreate.
It's awesome.
And Procreate it does cost money, and I think it's like $7 or $8, somewhere in that range. And it is an amazing drawing app. And the reason why I call it amazing is it really makes you feel, as a person who is not artistic like me, as far as an amazing artist or anything, it makes you feel like you actually can do stuff. Some of the stuff that you can create and do within it just blows your mind. So I've shown some stuff that I've showed it to my kids or to my wife, whatever it might be, and they don't believe that I actually did it. I'm like, no, let me show you. Like, there's all of these different tool sets. It is an all in one art kit, let's call it. And it's all, so it does cost money. You can produce all kinds of things. Of course, the images themselves, the still images, but you can even do these videos, these time-lapse videos where it puts together your image all into, like a 10-second clip. Yeah. Those look amazing and beautiful too. Procreate for the iPad, amazing, especially if you have the iPad Pencil. That's what I would say. Yeah. So, talking about another app, I'm going to have to edit this. Another great app for the iPad that I was thinking about. My kids actually just outside of this room, I was listening to them, and they're using the iPad, and the best, I think, free app that comes with an iPad, which is iMovie.
Built right into it.
Yeah, and they're using it to create these little movies these little scary shows that they're going to show us, like 1-minute clips. They put on these masks, and my oldest son writes a script out, and they kind of go through all of the process of basically movie making. And then they show them to, myself and my wife, and they're just amazing and hilarious and super you can do all kinds of stuff creatively. And in class, so many potential things you can go ahead and do, from the filming of the little clip that you're going to do to the professional looking editing to producing it and pushing it out to YouTube or just to whatever might be your learning management system or whatever. So iMovie, it's hard to go wrong with that. It's super easy to use. It's just awesome.
They've recently updated it, and now you can do I think you can do green screen stuff, chroma key on the iPad iMovie app, which you couldn't do in
You couldn't do that before.
Yeah.
That's a huge update.
I mean, now it's pretty full featured, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, it is.
So listen, anyone like when you start this
here it comes.
Anyone who's listened to this podcast at least for a while would know of my love affair with Explain Everything. So it's on this list because I have the ability to write things on this list. And I'll tell you though, for many, many, many years, I said if your desert island, one app, it had to be Explain Everything.
Yeah.
I said that for a long time. I've been pretty consistent with it. And it's on this list because you can do virtually anything with Explain Everything. Virtually anything. You can draw, you can make videos, you can make slide decks, you can do presentations, you can just write things, you can record your audio, you can record voices, you could do podcasting in theory with Explain Everything because you can export just the audio.
Yes.
You can do so many things with Explain Everything. It is a fantastic app. It is not free, I don't think, anymore. There's a cost.
But it's not super expensive. Yeah.
But it is, and for years, it was the de facto iPad app that you had to have in education. And I still think it kind of is. There are other apps that do some of the things that Explain Everything does really well. We're going to actually, one of them is next. But Explain Everything is still pretty close, if not the king of the hill, still way up there in terms of its functionality in education.
So the app that it's in a different take, though, I would say, and a lot of people don't even know that it would even flirt in the same playground as Explain Everything. And that is one of our favorite apps of all time. Doesn't matter if it's on an iPad or any device, and that's Flipgrid. And you're asking me, Glenn, why Flipgrid as a creative thing? You can record yourself, and then you're obviously recording your video and your audio. But the Flipgrid Shorts app that was added, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, basically gives you the ability to do some of those things that you could only do on Explain Everything, which is basically those amazing features on the creative outlet side that Explain Everything has, which are the ability to be able to write on the screen while you're speaking, while you're being recorded, and kind of do all of these things simultaneously. Kind of a student flipped video. Student explains everything. And that's the reason why it's such a great name for an app, by the way, to explain everything. Because it's not the teacher explaining everything. The best part of that app is that it's flipped and the student is being able to say, here's what I actually learned. And let me show you, not only just tell you, but let me show you by actually writing on the iPad itself and drawing things and manipulating objects or whatever it might be. Same things you can actually do now as far as on Flipgrid, especially with that new Shorts app. So talk about amazing apps that come with your iPad that I think are underused, especially at school.
Totally. This one is 100%.
iMovie, I've seen it used quite often at schools. But the one tool that I think people just, they don't get it or they don't know how to incorporate it in a variety of different ways because they see it as a musical kind of tool, and it's GarageBand. Not only can you create music, professional sounding music, and me and you play instruments, so we actually understand that if you really break down GarageBand, I mean really break it down to the elements of whatever it might be, you can literally do this. I'll pick up my guitar back here and I could do the exact same things on this iPad that I could do on my guitar. And that's incredible to me. It teaches kids about chord structures, different types of rhythms. And then it allows a student to obviously to then create music of all kinds of genres or whatever it might be. And it's original music, which is fantastic. But then I was thinking, I was like, not only, we use GarageBand, especially when we're on set, on location at our different places, to be able to record our audio and have multi-track audio. And then I can go in there and I can edit the audio and be able to do those kinds of things. Right. Same thing that a teacher could do. They could record podcasts as far as their students, be able to produce it. So if you're ever like, how are we going to record this? Professionally, you can record it actually inside of GarageBand and make it sound amazing. So it's heavily underused, I think underutilized, and it's free. And my goodness, what a powerful tool as far as within the iPads.
100%. So most of those you probably recognize and know. This last one, I wanted to throw one on here that maybe a bunch of people would learn about for the first time.
Yeah.
Incredibox is incredible. That's like their
Incredibox.
ad. I just made their ad for them. Please go play with Incredibox on an app. There's a browser-based version of it. It's basically, so have you seen this before, Glenn?
I have not,
Okay.
actually. I'm learning too.
Okay, you ready? I'm going to
Yes.
explain it a little bit.
Okay.
Across your screen are 5 dudes,
Okay.
and they're wearing no clothes, for lack of a better word. And
Okay.
and when you dress them, you click
Mm-hmm.
on little clothing options, and when you dress them, they make sounds.
Okay.
And there's like a beat one that makes like different like
Sure.
kind
Okay.
of sounds, right? And there's one that'll do like do 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 do, and but
Okay.
there's like different ones. But when you start like dressing them, all of them, and a number of the other ones make other kind of types of sounds.
Yeah.
And when you start putting them all together, it makes this awesome like
Like
techno
soundtrack
type
loop.
track.
Yeah.
Great loop.
Yeah.
And you can like undress as you take clothes off of them, like the parts of the outfit, like the hat or the glasses. Like the one is, sorry, I'm not saying they're naked. I'm saying that there's like
You're putting
one of them
accessories
where
on them.
you're
Yeah.
accessories, hats, glasses,
Yep.
that kind of stuff, coats on them, and that's what's changing the type of sound that they're making.
It's interesting.
And as you change them, you can change them kind of on the fly, and it changes the song, right? And then if you really get into it, which is what we did in class, you can like there's a recording option, so you can record these and then download them and put them into whatever. We use them to make our games. I had
Nice.
students using Incredibox to make music for their video games in Scratch.
It's
Because they
perfect.
would download the MP3 and then put it into Scratch, and now they've made a friggin' soundtrack for their game that
That's
is like
super awesome.
using
Yeah.
Incredibox, right? But what's so cool is when you hit record and then you start, like, if you can process in your head the workflow of like what you would turn on and off at what times and at what beats and at what like bars, you can make like this amazing arrangement of music with these, but just by like removing the accessories from the characters. It is awesome. I don't know
gotta
if I
mess
did
with
it
it.
justice, but hopefully I got people at least a little bit intrigued that you're gonna stop and you're gonna go
They're like,
check this out.
I better go download that.
So there are I believe that they've divided this up into like not seasons but like years of production that they've been. I think they're on like year 6 or 7 that they've been out.
Yeah.
And like year 1, 2, and 3 are free, and then like 4, 5, 6, and 7 or whatever are like you have to pay to add on to an account. And then I think when you pay for an account, you get that downloading feature available to you. So
Very cool.
you just want to go on and like make music and have fun with it. Like show your kids this. Your kids,
Okay.
like
I'm
this
going
is-
to.
Your kids would
They got a jam.
love this. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's awesome. So
I'll report.
Incredibox,
I'll report back.
and I think it's incredibly underrated as a cool music tool. And if you get an account with them or whatever, it's definitely got some great applications for creativity, for adding music to things and it being your own music. So Incredibox.
Awesome. So you can always come back to this segment of the best by checking out our blog at oneducationpodcast.com or watching it on YouTube. Just search for On Education and check out the playlist. Want to support On Education? Check out our Patreon site at patreon.com/oneducationpod.